as soon as we make the little announcement, you can start going on about the football stuff and well, any topics that we start bringing up, whatever. The tragedies, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to episode 1 of the Brotherhood of Gaming podcast, where we just bring in gamers and other people from all over, whatever they do professional-wise, and we just start talking about fun times or maybe not so fun times. Anyway, today we have Event Status with us here today. Yay! Give a round of applause.
TV.
I know he's actually pitied us enough to allow his greatness to be in our.
I've been busy. Like I said, even after this, I gotta get ready to go. I got a bunch of friends telling me I gotta go out. I dropped off a bunch of friends just not too long ago at an upper party before was it doing this.
I wanted to ask you real quick. Are there?
We gotta. Right.
Okay. How's your? I know you do a lot of charity work. How's your charity work going?
You said the charity. You want to say it again?
I heard you do a lot of charity work. How's your charity work going?
Right now, it's the charity work that I'm doing. Like I usually do it during the holidays, especially for like the homeless and the shelters and stuff. But the other type of charity work I do is for like just really sports based. Just like get kids out there, make sure that they learn the sport and not just what they see on TV. I did that over the summer. I had a couple of parents, asked me to do it, so I was every other weekend actually. I was going, and pretty much it was like a unscripted basketball camp.
Okay.
So yeah, it was just me and a couple street ballers out there, just trying to show them, what to do. Not so much flash and more substance.
Awesome.
Pretty rad.
I wanted to talk a little bit something. I just want to come up with a subject, and it's something I was kind of thinking about, and it's why we play video games in the first place. We're kind of unique because we come from a generation where video games has always been part of who we are. But I just kind of wanted to ask that question: why do we play video games? What's the appeal? Why do we care so much about this industry? And
I explained it. I explained my story pretty well last night. And I don't know if I'll be able to recreate it for the video. Hopefully, I can.
Well, I guess I bet you want to start off. Why do you play video games? What was the appeal of it? Why you got into it, and why do you care so much about this industry?
Well, with video games, it's almost, at first, when I was a kid, video games felt more of an extension of comic books, almost like. So when you're growing up and you're reading Spider-Man and Superman and all those, and then you see, like, this pudgy plumber come along, and you're like, what is this all about? You know what I mean? And then he's jumping on turtles and stuff. It's like, it's been an extension from that, but when I was playing when I was younger, it was before Nintendo, so I had a chance to, experience some television, ColecoVision, Atari, and I guess it was just something that I always did at one point as a kid when it was like raining or something outside, because, at the time, when you're a kid and you have friends, you're just running around. You don't want to be in the house. That's the last thing you want to do was be in the house with your parents.
Back in the day,
yeah,
was. Right.
Last thing you want to do. So for me, it was, I don't know, it was just something that took off. I think the first game I had played was, I believe it was basketball, for the Intellivision, I believe. And then, of course, Pong and a lot of those came along. And it just seemed like it just took off, It was just something that just opened up your imagination, It makes you open a perspective and reach for more, than what you see in the everyday world. And I just think that that's something that really, you can only do so much when it comes to art and animation. Well, animation these days, it's completely different. You can do it. But back then, you couldn't really reach that far. You know what I mean? You got to think, back then, comic books at times were still looked at as the devil. You know what I mean? Like, even if you listen to, like, Stan Lee back in, like, the times when he started, people were saying that comic books were bad for kids. And, it was a whole stigma to it. Like we see today now with video games, they're bad for kids. It's always something. That's what the media does. And for me, it's just, I just thought it, not only did it, hold my time and, in time and energy, but it also made me creative. And like I said, between video games and comics, that's when I started drawing and started trying to do animation and stuff. And then as I went along, video games became bigger and they became better. And before you know it, now we have this industry where video games are just destroying movies at this point.
Right.
And it's like, I never thought we'd see that. But, it's good, but of course, with the good stuff comes the bad stuff. Mm-hmm. So I think it's to a point where you have to try and not just keep people humble, because we have so many developers who think they're celebrities and think that they're gods for no reason. Because, you know, you're here one day, you're gone tomorrow, you know? That's just how it is. And for me, it's like, I think that people forget just how much video games used to bring people together. And, you know, now it's like, if you don't like something, or if you have an opinion about something, there's somebody who's just going to try and tear into you for just absolutely ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And it's like, before, you could be face-to-face and say, hey, I don't like this game. And, you know, people just like, okay, cool, you don't like it. And that would be it.
But now it's just, now you got to come up with the whole philosophy. Like, it's not so much as you just hate this game because you hate it. There's a mental reason behind your hating this game. Like, they don't understand it. What is it? The character? Like, are you retarded?
Yeah.
There's something about it that just sets somebody off.
So there's always somebody who just takes it to a level that it never needs to go. Exactly. And that's what bothers me the most. Because for me, it's like, okay, you have this where, you know, okay, I don't like a game, you don't like this game. And then somebody will say, okay, well, can we discuss on, you know, why you don't like it? Okay, fine. Before you know it, 5 minutes into it, you suck, your mom sucks, this sucks, that sucks. Like,
see, back in the day, there weren't really so many different reasons why you could hate a game other than the fact that it was probably too hard.
Yeah.
Right.
But then when you start talking about something was too hard, like Battletoads, people didn't argue with you about it. They actually empathize with you.
Because they know. They know. They've been there.
They do. So, but now it's if you don't like a game, you suck.
Right.
If you're not good at a game, you suck. Right.
Because video games have grown to that movie level where we now have like everything that it takes to make movies, it takes to make games. We have actors. We have composing music. So usually back then when you hated a movie, they always were up at your throat about it. Like, why? Do you hate this actor? But back then, take Mega Man, for example, in his side-scrolling adventures. And if you said you hate it, obviously you got to hate it because it's too hard. There's not much else to hate. What do you hate? The fact that you're a blue guy?
Yeah, it really wasn't. I mean, even like back then when you said stuff like that, no one ever really talked about, like, the terms level design, they weren't around. Yeah. You know what I mean? You would say, I didn't like this stage. Okay. No one said, well, you know, the technical part of the level design, why they had to do it and go down and up.
No, we didn't get to that part yet. Everybody wasn't getting into the development.
Everyone wasn't trying to, you know,
be a game designer.
Yeah, analyze everything to the molecular level. It was just, I like that.
It's amazing how in-depth now that people have, you know, become. And, you know, at one point I do appreciate it because it shows how much passion people have. Mm-hmm. But it's another point where you have to, like, pump the brakes and let them know, like, hey, man, it's not that serious at times. You know, it's just not.
Right.
But these people, they take it so far, and it's just like it really annoys me at times because, you know, like I said, it's not like back in the arcades where you could sit and talk to somebody about a game, whether you like it or hate it, and people would be cool with you about it.
Right.
No matter what you say today, I could upload a video today saying just hello. That's all I could do. Just say hello, and then stop the video. And I would get a number of dislikes. You
didn't say hello right. I mean, you went out of your way to say hello, but why couldn't you speak for the Spanish audience? Throw in an hola.
It's always going to be something. You're not going to please everyone, but I just feel with all the tools that we've been given these days to communicate with each other and make things that are better, people abuse them. And it's not right. I just feel it's very childish. It really annoys me, to see something like that happen.
That brings DLC to the mind. The best and worst thing that happened to the game industry.
Oh, God. You know, if DLC was all about, like, expansion, if it was all about that...
That'd be fine. That's what we were hoping for.
Yeah. That was, you know, and that was the thing. In theory, that's what it was supposed to be. But...
we found a back door.
Yep. Leave the companies who decide to abuse it.
Exactly.
And then people got used to it. Before we had to hear, oh, well, it's only a little bit of DLC. They won't go any far with it. Then before you know, it started becoming costumes. And people were like, oh, well, it's only costumes. It's not that big of a deal if you don't want it. Then it was color palettes. It was like, wait a minute. It was like, you know, it just kept
then it was endings.
Oh my God, Final Fantasy. But yeah, that also brings to mind the SOPA bill when they explained when they actually explained in the rooms, in the judges' rooms and stuff, that, well, it's clearly stated that it's possible that we can do these things, but come on, we wouldn't do that to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, it's sad because as soon as you hear the word DLC these days, it's not the first reaction isn't, oh, well, we're going to get more of a game. The first reaction is, okay, how are they going to screw us?
Right.
You know, what are they doing?
Or a side question to go with that is, what did they cut out?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a reality we have to face as gamers. But it's true. I think I have more from, as much as I don't like DLC. If it's adequate DLC, I don't have a problem with it.
Lords of Shadow was adequate DLC.
Right.
Well, I'll put it like this: like adequate DLC, Skyrim, adequate DLC.
Right.
You know what I mean? It takes a while to make good DLC, especially in some fighting games where they have to actually hand draw the sprites. So DLC is coming every 3 to 4 months. Adequate, I don't have a problem with that. Right. You know, but when you get all this stuff about we're going to take this piece out of the game that's already made and then we're going to charge you for it, like that's not cool. That's not cool. Like even was it Capcom in Japan? I just read an article the other day. I forgot what game it was. I really forgot what game it was. It was for Nintendo apparently. Was it they're getting weekly DLC? Like they're getting DLC on a weekly basis for it.
Oh my god!
Like,
really?
What?
Guys! Really?
The next video I do, like full video game video.
Yeah.
But I forgot what the name was, but it was a Nintendo product. I was just like, wow, that's absolutely crazy.
Okay, while we're on the subject of Capcom, I got to bring up Mega Man Cross Street Fighter.
Oh my god! You know what? I have had so many reactions to this, so much mail. I've had so many people who made fan games and posted them on YouTube. So many of them contacted me. Some were actually kind of delighted, and there were others who were just absolutely mad because they were like, "You took this game, but you didn't take other games," and it upset them.
Well, from what I've heard is that this originally was a fan game, but Capcom started promoting it.
Yeah. And did you hear what Capcom said, though? Apparently some of the fans had told me this was their way of trying to let the Mega Man fans know that they still care about Mega Man.
I took it as a way of them saying, well, we're not going to make this crap, but at least somebody out there will, so we'll just promote it and say that, well, here's some Mega Man stuff for you.
Well, here's the thing. The biggest complaint I've heard so far is, okay, they promoted Street Fighter vs. Mega Man. It was a fan-made game. They tried to promote it. Now, what about Mega Man Legends 3? That just pissed off all the Mega Man Legends 3 fans because they put their work into it and you canceled it. You know, like I've had so many...
And took their work and put it toward that Lost Planet game.
Yep. Oh, and of course Lost Planet won't be coming to the West either.
Well, there's a shock.
X-Troopers won't be coming to the West now, and I've had so many people who are mad about that too.
Well, that and Project X Zone will be coming.
Well, last I heard, Project X Zone was supposed to be localized.
I hope so, but knowing Bandai Namco's rate at bringing over these titles, it's kind of up in the air at this moment. Yeah, we can only hope they can, because I'm not ready to shell out $300 for a Japanese DS and an additional $100 for the game.
I know. I'm still trying to save my money for the Wii U so I can play Bayonetta 2. Damn it.
You know, I'm so tired of, and that's another thing I think. If this industry is going to grow, it's got to stop doing this whole system exclusivity thing.
Yeah.
It just has to, because you're actually hurting yourself in the long run.
Right.
But you acquire certain fans. Putting certain things, like I'm still upset that Monster Hunter. Now, mind you, I've already went on record and saying I will never buy a Capcom game again. I will never buy a brand new Capcom game after the way they treated me over at Capcom Unity.
Mm-hmm. And you shouldn't, man. You shouldn't have to put up with that.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. And that's when Capcom reached out to me. Earlier this week, they reached out to me about it. And but still, and even though it was a nice thought, it was pretty much a lot of defense on their end of trying to justify it. As far as I'm concerned, that's not good enough. But I just feel as though when they did Monster Hunter, because when I still have the original Monster Hunter on PlayStation. You know, was it the original? Was it PlayStation 2? Sorry, PlayStation 2. And I was happy with it, and then slowly went to the PSP, and it was raking in a lot of money. And I'm thinking, okay, next gen, we're going to get a next gen Monster Hunter, and never came. They brought it to the Wii, and I was like, okay. So I was like, well, I had a Wii, so I was like, I'll get it for the Wii, at the time. And
Before
then, Yeah, before you know it, now it's going to be on, on the, they got one coming out, the Ultimate Edition for Monster Hunter. Like, I'm just done.
And you're right, it really does hurt them in the long run because it shouldn't cost nearly anything to print data on a disc.
It's pretty much porting. That's pretty much all it is, porting over one system to the next. I mean, if you're going to start with the Wii, which we all know has the lowest set in graphics and hard drive, I don't see a problem why you can't port it over to the Xbox and the PS3. If they can, they should be able to handle those graphics and handle that coding with no problem.
And more so along the sign of porting, like bringing games overseas, everybody over in Japan, or at least Capcom anyway, has always got the mindset that Americans are stupid. They can't understand the complexity of our games, such as the Phoenix Wrights and the what else are they doing? And
I don't even want to hear that. I love Phoenix Wright. Matter of fact, what was it? Oh, that's what it was. Phoenix Wright versus, was it Professor Layton Phoenix Wright?
Right.
That's getting weekly DLC. That's what it is.
Oh.
Over in Japan.
And porting really shouldn't be that much of a problem because I can't speak for everybody else out there, but I wouldn't mind Japanese dub as long as all the text was English.
I don't have a problem with that either. Look, I'm coming from a time where I used to play RPGs where all it was text. There was no voiceovers.
Same here. And I went through all of Tales of the Abyss on my first time with Japanese dubbed and English text. That's all I had. Don't ask me how it worked, but that's all I had.
Squaresoft still does it on on their games on the iOS. They do it too. They have the original Japanese dub, but they just give you the English subtitles, and I don't have a problem with that.
As long as I can read it, that's fine. I don't mind.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, as long as I can read it. That's the thing. Gamers, I guess it's because I don't want to say they've been spoiled, but after you've seen all these things come down, down the pipe and how they can do things, these blockbuster type games, it's going to be hard to go back. It's going to be hard to just step back and be like, all right, let's give them something that we haven't done in a while. But when you see the indie, the indie circuit right now, they are killing the industry. They are making so many great games, indie developers, and this is why you have these big publishers always buying them out.
It's an interesting question as to why the indie developers are doing much better. Because it's not like they have a fan base to really fall back on. Because indie developers, they more than likely make a game and throw it out there to be judged.
I think there's just more heart behind it. That's just my...
Probably. That's probably it. They put their all into the project.
Oh, well, they have to. I mean, because they don't have the comfortable backing that the rest of these publishers have, They have to. It almost reminds me of the PS2 era, where it was like there was no DLC, there were no patches. Like you had to
get it right on the first try, and if you didn't, you were getting a recall.
Yeah, and a lot of gamers don't understand that. Nowadays, they throw stuff out and they decide, okay, well, we can just day one patch, don't worry about it. That shouldn't be that mindset that they have.
That's lazy.
Right.
It's just sad. It really is.
Looking at myself and why I play video games, like I said, I come from that generation where I think our generation is kind of unique because video games has always been a part of it. When I was a kid, I was always someone that was like one step behind everyone. I heard about an Atari 2600, so I got Atari 2600. When I got my 2600, people moved on to Nintendo. So then I got Nintendo. And once I got Nintendo, they moved on to Super Nintendo.
Or the Sega Genesis.
And, for me, it was always fun. It was always a hobby. As I got older, the fact that I work so much and I work 40 hours a week, for me, it's a chance to escape. One thing I love is I love fighting games. I suck at them, but I love fighting games because it's a chance for me to, I have some time before work.
Pretend that the final boss is your boss?
No, I don't hate my boss. Yeah, but like I said, I have some time. I have to kill. I can get on around, fly a few rounds. I love, or if I have the feeling of getting to an adventure, like an RPG or something like that. To me, it's a chance for me to escape, and it's kind of part of my genetic code. I'm looking to the camera right behind me, and just to let you know right now, I'm a huge Dallas Cowboys fan.
I know. He told
yeah, Gene. I've told Carlos everything about.
It's all right. And even though it's a team that sometimes I hate, and I've even threatened a few times that I'm going to leave them, but I don't, because rooting for the Dallas Cowboys it's something I've done since I was a kid. It's kind of like it's part of my genetic code, and it's the kind of same thing I feel about video games. It's part of who I am. But unfortunately, it seems like as the industry's grown, it's like it's became like big business. And when it became like big business, it seems like the companies were just caring about making money. How much money can we get out of it?
I think a lot of that has to do with the shareholders that they keep.
Right.
You know, everyone sees, like everything was fine if you notice the beginning of this generation, and then Call of Duty just pretty much punched everybody in the mouth when it came to sales. Mm-hmm. And then all those shareholders said, look, we want those same numbers. Right. You know what I mean? But then it's like, you can't expect those type of numbers in a different type of genre. You just can't all the time. But they don't want to hear that. They don't care. They just want to see figures. That's it.
Right.
And I just think that they let way too many outsiders in. Mm-hmm. And now we're seeing all this casualized stuff. We're seeing all this stuff. And, you know, sometimes a casual game is good. But, like, I can't tell you. If you've ever watched, what is it, that commercial? You ever see that Just Dance commercial?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. And the girls are like, Just Dance, woo! I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, these chicks would never be caught doing this.
Yes. Never.
Come on.
And I just want to also bring this up. I think another thing that's happened is because we have when you take a look at like Capcom, it's something that's been around for such a long time, and people have played these games for such a long time.
20 years.
I just feel like now they take it too far, where they feel like they have a personal stock in it, where if you criticize Capcom, they immediately attack you. And they attack, and they defend everything that a certain company does. And in my opinion, that doesn't make you a good fan. It's okay to like a certain company, but if they do something wrong, you should be able to call them out on that.
It's okay to be a fan and also be objective. There's no way that you can be on one side all the time. There's no two extremes here. It never has been like that.
Right.
Except this generation. Like, I've never seen it as rabid as it is this generation.
Right.
Oh, back then, both the companies and the gamers had to work together, and though a lot of them had dislikes, they made them known and they worked on it and improved.
Now they tell you if you don't like something, you can kiss their ass, so you can suffer.
Pretty much.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Now, I think a lot of us have video game origins on why we do what they do. Of course, I have one too. And for me, it's probably similar and probably a little bit different. But I think, you know how before you're born, like your parents always try to set up your room and for things that they think you'll like, and you know how they do that. Yeah. Well, they already had an Atari in my room waiting for me, and and of course that was the first thing I got into when I came around, and I just started getting into the games right away. It was already there for me at my disposal. It's not something that I had to discover and look forward to. But growing up, I had fallen in love with movies. I would go outside with friends, and we'd use our imaginations. Like, I probably told many times that in kindergarten, we would go out, during recess, we would go out and pretend to play Mega Man. And, like, some of us would be acting as Mega Man, like the Robot Masters.
And look, when we were kids, we did it all, too. I remember when we were kids, and I remember Toys R Us used to sell those plastic Ghostbuster proton packs.
Oh, yeah. That was the day.
Man. But, we used to put those on and just act like there were ghosts everywhere when we were kids. You know, like we had our He-Man figures on us all the time.
Yeah,
our G.I. Joes on us all the time. Like, that's what you did when you were kids. Right. You know.
And for me,
I never gave you a problem with it.
Right. And for me, growing up on this, and with the movies in the background, and using your imagination outside, when I discovered the Nintendo games and going into it, I think my Nintendo Power poster says it best when it gives like little taglines underneath each game. Like for Zelda, it says "Travel through dungeons and monsters and be a hero," and that's basically it. You become these fantasy characters. And it's like a movie. When you look at the movie and you see these heroes do these things like, oh, Jack Sparrow, he's amazing. And then when you're playing these games, it's like, oh my God, everything relies on me. I am the hero. If I don't do this, then there's a consequence for it.
Yeah. Now, they don't really give you much of a consequence now. I think that's the problem. I think they've made the games, I don't want to say it's hand-holding too much, but they've made it to the point where there's no type of consequence. That's why I like Demon Souls and Dark Souls. Love it. Because if you don't pay attention, there's some serious consequences.
Yeah, because like back in the day, take Ninja Gaiden for example, Ninja Gaiden 3. You can get near to the end, but if you lost all your lives, it's back to the start of the game. You didn't have save data to save you.
Yeah. You're done.
You may have had a password if you're lucky.
But no, if you failed, you paid for it. You lost. Your fantasy's over. You're going back to the start. But in these new games, you have too much forgiveness, such as like Epic Mickey 2, which is a horrible game, and it sucks that I have to say that.
Wow, really? I was looking forward to that.
Yeah,
Gina got the first one.
The first one was so great. And then Gina and I, we got Epic Mickey 2 on multiple consoles just to make sure that it wasn't us. But the problems, they just kept persisting and kept going on. And how the game tries to make you do these side quests, and they try to make you feel guilty about it if you do it the wrong way. Like, you can help this person, but you can take the easy route and get to the other way. There is absolutely no consequence for this. You could be the total asshole in this whole game, but there's no consequence. There's nothing bad happens. You still get the same ending.
Well, I want to change subjects. I know this is a subject that's kind of near and dear to you, and I was just playing the demo a while ago, DMC.
Uh-oh.
At this point, I just want that game to come out so this whole crap would be over with. Have you ever seen this happen to a game like this before in your life?
I saw on a forum the other day where people who were for this game said the exact same thing. They were like, we cannot wait for this game to come out so that people can stop fighting.
Yes.
People who were against this game said, we cannot wait for this game to come out so people can stop fighting. And the first thing out of my mouth was, well, why don't you stop fighting then?
Why do you gotta wait for the game to come out?
Unfortunately, that's just the way some people are.
I have never even seen so much flaming hype over a movie than this game.
Like I said, I told, when I talked to Capcom, I told them, because they keep trying to push the give the game a chance type thing. And when Greg Man messaged me, he said, I'm not trying to change your mind about the game. You know what I mean? He said that straight out. So he already knew. He said that, but I do think it should have a chance. And I had said to him, I was willing to give the game a chance in the beginning. I was like, until Tamim and Alex opened their mouth and started insulting the very same fan base that they need to buy this game.
Right.
I said, that's where I drew the line. I said, I just think it's ridiculous that these guys are supposed to be professionals and adults, and this is how they're acting. Now we're finding out that they're taking shots at the fans because of their complaints about the hair, which, mind you, nobody talks about anymore.
No one talks about the hair.
Yeah, but they're taking shots about them in-game. So now you're trolling people pretty much in-game.
So now,
it's ridiculous.
This is still on the same subject.
It's going way too far.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is still on the subject of DMC, but I think Gene brought it up, and I don't think anybody else has, when it comes to one of the supers in DMC. Now, it's pretty clear that they kind of, I think they've announced that they kind of copied Bayonetta.
Yeah.
But
there's been a lot of talk about that.
But I think there's one other thing that they copied that nobody caught, and it was on Alice Madness Returns Hysteria mode.
There's a game called Alice Madness Returns, and when her power's really low, she goes in hysteria mode where she gets stronger and she can slash everything up. Well, everything turns white and she has red all over her, which is exactly like Devil Trigger.
I showed the other one in my video with Splatterhouse. When you go into that mode where everything turns white and you get stronger and you start slashing everything up. So it's been done before in multiple games.
The thing about this game is that, my personal opinion is that I think it's a decent hack and slash game.
It could be.
It could be decent, but it's not like this game-changing,
That's what I said.
Epic thing,
Yeah, that's probably what it's going to come down to in our review. Is everybody is expecting, oh my god, these guys are going to hate it, they're going to flame it, they're going to torch it. That's not how it works. At the very least, it could be fun to the casual gamer who doesn't like getting their ass kicked. Because at the very least, it's a very easy game. I was on the hardest difficulty, and I'm still winning, which is a big problem for Devil May Cry.
I want to share this real quick. One thing I noticed about the demo event is that it was too easy. And I was going through it, and it was too easy. And then earlier this week, I beat Devil May Cry 3. It took me 2 years, but I finally beat it.
and that's what it's about.
Yeah.
That's exactly. You want to feel some type of accomplishment when you're beating things.
Right.
But when you start to see how you can manipulate the gameplay, when we saw, now that we see, all you have to do is do the demon dodge and go right into
triple S,
million stabs or trillions, whatever.
Right.
And then your rank goes straight up, straight to triple S, and it holds it. And I'm like, wait a minute.
That's not how it works.
You can do that in 20 seconds. And they're just like, oh, that's stylish. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
I'm wondering if that'll be taken out of the actual game, or maybe that was just
No. They said, they tried to say it was an old build, but the game has been complete for months now. Tamim came out not too long ago and said that Capcom only pushed the game back to January because they didn't want to hit the Christmas crunch. That was it. They didn't want to get hit in the holiday. Right. So the game's been done for a while now.
Yeah, because I did notice at the beginning of the demo, they didn't use that scapegoat where they said that it's a game, they're still in development, don't judge it, it's not done.
Every time they used that, all I could do was laugh. I'm just like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah. Don't judge it yet. We're still working on it.
Yeah, you know, and for me, it's just like, I'm also in that boat where I just can't wait for the game to come out. Like, I thought I was done talking about Devil May Cry, and Capcom came to me the other day.
Oh, man, you should know that you're not going to be done until people say you're done.
Hey, that's exactly what it is. You're not done till we say so. Like, damn.
Like, did you really think you had a choice in this matter?
Really, you know? Like, I understood why they wanted me to do the demo impression video, and I'm just like, okay, I'll do that. But that's why I showed all the other videos from other YouTubers and such to make it seem like I'm not crazy here. I'm not just making this up.
Right.
You know? Like,
the only unfortunate thing is whenever you do a video, you get hurt.
Yeah.
Seriously. Like, you get shut down. Like, Jesus. Stop asking me to do these Devil May Cry videos. They literally put my company in jeopardy.
And you know what? And here's the thing. Since I've been doing these for what, about 2 years now? I've only done about, what, 7 videos in 2 years or something like that. That'll be 7, 8 videos, something like that. And as far as I'm concerned, people have been told me everything. Of course, told me everything in the book, but telling me that my opinion doesn't matter. I'm not reaching anybody. Right. Well, it's quite obvious I got Capcom's attention. Yes. You know, it's quite obvious, and they're mad at that now because Capcom came to me.
You got somebody
to listen, right? But you know, it's the thing is always about it is that the way the industry is, when I see a review on a game or an opinion on a game, I just go to other gamers. I don't go to these magazines or these sites who I just think
paid celebrity endorsements.
That's how I see it.
That's pretty much what it is. You have to be very careful.
Right.
You can't trust them. You have to just rely on gamers just like back then.
Prime example. The prime example is IGN when it came to the Silent Hill HD collection.
Oh yeah.
They praised the hell out of it. They gave it like an 8 or a 9.
Nice, oh my
and
God.
Everybody in the comments was like, "Did you even play it?"
IGN has had so many problems, and I understand that people love to do the comparison when they did they gave God Hand this horrible score, but yet they promoted was it Baby's video game or something like that, and they gave it a higher score than God Hand, and people are like, are you serious? People are upset.
Speaking of talking about that, I heard. Well, what do you think about X-Play and Attack of the Show G4?
Gone. Yeah, it's full of the plug. They're gone. They're
I'm happy. I'm absolutely happy. After, you know what, I've always had a problem with G4 once they changed their setup to look like the Xbox. Like their stage. It started to look like, I already had a problem with them because every time they would bag on Square and Final Fantasy, but anything that was, outside Final Fantasy, it was great apparently. I had a problem with that.
It seems like when they changed their look to show the Xbox, a lot more of the Xbox, it looked like more favoritism.
It did. But then once they jumped on, I think the last straw was when they jumped on the Mega Man fan base.
Morgan Webb, she's like,
yep.
Well, I wouldn't say the long-awaited Mega Man Legends 3. Oh, really? So 10 years, that's nothing, huh?
Yeah, it's not long enough.
It's long enough.
Like, you can't go by them. You know what I mean? And after they did that, I said I was done with them. You know, and Sessler tried to, I understand that he can only do but so much, but there was times where even he jumped on people, and I'm like,
Adam Sessler got on my nerves too.
It's ridiculous.
Adam Sessler, if you're watching this, I'm sorry.
Fable 3 is a great game.
I don't want to directly hate on anybody in our videos. That's not what we do. But
yeah. Let's talk about something positive. 2013 is around the corner. What games are you most looking forward to?
Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Rising.
Rising. Yeah, Rising. Looking forward to Rising.
Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider I'm looking forward to. The thing is, I don't know if I'm going to get Rising because after what has happened with Platinum Games, I'm still on the fence with that. I was very upset with Platinum Games what they did.
You'll have to enlighten me.
What happened to Platinum Games? Just to enlighten us, what happened? What did Platinum Games do?
Well, I had a couple people message me on Twitter, a couple gamers, and apparently Platinum Games are treating consumers like trash, and I've had a big problem with it. They were saying, like, they literally came out and said in the tweet that, you know, you're not a consumer of ours until you buy a product, so you have no right to have a concern. That made me mad.
Yeah.
I was like, that's absolutely ridiculous.
Is Hideo even involved?
Say what?
Is Hideo Kojima even involved?
Kojima, no, it's just his project, but he just rolled it over to them. I really don't think it is. And that's what it says, you know, it is his project. So I can see people saying, well, I'm going to get it because it's a Kojima project. That's fine. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I mean, for what I've seen so far, the game looks great. I mean, like, if I was looking for a next level hack and slash, that would be the game.
Right.
Well, because with Hideo Kojima, at least Hideo Kojima cares.
Yeah, he cares. And you know what? He's doing the same. He already said he wanted to stop Metal Gear.
Oh, he said that right after Snake Eater back on the PS2.
Yeah.
I even have the Game Informer where he's like, okay, after Snake Eater's done, I'm going to call it quits. And then right after that, we immediately got Metal Gear Acid. We got like 5 Metal Gear games later. He finally said, okay, I'm going to quit now after Metal Gear Solid 4, and then they bring him back. Okay, now he's got Metal Gear Solid Rising, and now he's got Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes and Metal Gear Solid 5.
You know, and I'm looking forward to all of them.
Me too, because he cares. He genuinely wants to do what the fans asking him.
And I follow him on Twitter, and you know what? The guy's humble. All he does is post pictures of toys and food anyway. He doesn't get smart with people. You know what I mean? He knows how to compose himself. I think a lot of developers of today can look at him and say, you know what, we need to follow in his footsteps.
Because a lot of them tend to forget that they're just people. But a lot of them view themselves as these higher ups that you should be kissing their behinds.
Yeah, rings or something.
Yeah. But
and one thing I've never understood is why you would go out. Why would you insult your
fans,
the customer base?
Yeah, that's the last thing you want to do. You know, in every company, you gotta think every company that is built, any store that you see around your way, if they get complaints, they're not just gonna be like, oh well, no. Regardless of what is said, they're gonna try and take care of it as much as possible. So I don't understand why the video game industry feels as though they're an exception to the rule when it comes to real life. No, like you cannot treat people that way.
Right. Unable to take criticism in a positive manner.
Well, that's it's the first thing they teach you as an artist, and then that's what they love to call themselves now. They're artists. So if you're an artist, then you have to learn how to take criticism. Not everyone's going to like everything you do.
True.
So and if you don't like something, well then guess what? If you don't like what somebody's saying to you via Twitter, because I've seen some things that people have said it to me, and for everything he's done, I feel he deserves it. But even there's times where I see some comments, I'm like, wait, that's going way too far.
Right.
But then he answers them, and I'm like, don't answer them.
Right.
Block something. Just ignore it.
Don't feed it.
That's always my philosophy when dealing with trolls is that I
back under the bridge with you.
I don't give them the attention because that's what they want. They just want to give you attention.
It really depends with me. If I feel as though somebody really deserves it, I'm going to give it to them. But other than that, I don't really care. Like there's been, like I said, there's times like I said, every night before I go to sleep, I'll turn off my computer. When I get up in the morning before I decide to get ready to go to work and stuff, I'm just like, I wonder who's cursed me out overnight. That's my first thing in the morning. That's my first.
Whose day did I ruin?
I wonder who's cursed me out overnight. And then I'll look at my email and I'll see the messages. You're nothing but this, and this, and this. And I'll go into the comment and I'll just remove the comment. And, without even saying anything. Right. It's just like, you don't need, there's enough drama out here. You don't need any more than what it is.
Well said.
Yeah. There's over 7 billion people in this world. Are you really going to let one ruin your day?
And I think, like I said, with Devil May Cry, when that game comes out, what was the message?
Oh shit! I just got caught.
that's my messages. That's my friends.
Dang, that's my ringtone actually.
Okay. Oh, that's. Yeah, my friend. Because they know I'm on Skype. They're like, "Did your Skype go okay?" I'm not finished.
By the way, do you want to pass us your text number? So, like, hook us up with that number, man.
And I'll say I'm not finished, and then they'll message me back saying okay. Like they just won't let it go, so they know it's over.
Well, they want to talk to you, man. I mean, you are you.
But phone down, and I know it's gonna go off again. I know.
Well, at least you know you're gonna get caught.
I mean, yeah, it's just like I said. When it comes to at this point, since the demo is out now for Devil May Cry, I would have really thought that fans wouldn't have time. Fans who are definitely going to get this game, they wouldn't have time to be online and arguing back and forth on if it's good or not, because they'd be too busy trying to master the demo.
Right.
That's what I thought. I mean, that's what I did. Like, when Batman Arkham City was coming out, I played the hell out of Batman Arkham Asylum to get the battle down to how I wanted it. So by the time Arkham City came out, I was ready to go.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's why I felt, that's what I did with the other Devil May Cries. I played the previous one and played it as much as possible and to grind it out, and it's, that's another thing. People don't like to grind things out anymore in games. They don't. They
don't want to do the hard work and...
Don't do hard work. But I would have really thought that nobody would have time to even talk about Devil May Cry because they're too busy playing it. But apparently I'm wrong.
I'm glad you brought up Batman Arkham City because I opted not to get that game when it first came out because I said, and me and Will talked about this, there's going to be a
Game of the Year edition.
That's what I said.
That's what happened.
And that's what I did.
I waited.
Yep. And Game of the Year edition, I told people, I said, wait for the Game of the Year edition. And that's what I did. And now I'm happy. The Game of the Year edition came out, I got it. So I'm happy with it. It's a great game.
Yeah, and I'm also glad I didn't pay for the DLC, especially the Harley Quinn one. Jesus, that was...
I heard it was very disappointing.
It was. Jeez. Like, you paid... It took longer to download it than it did to beat it.
True, huh?
Yeah, but also another game coming out later this year, Tales of Xillia.
Tales of Xillia.
Yes. That looks good. Beyond Two Souls, I think, is going to be big.
Mm-hmm. That's another good one.
But I'm a fan of Heavy Rain, so that's pretty much on par for me.
I still need to pick that up. You told me to pick that up last time.
Heavy Rain is great. It's all it is just motion controls, but when you put on its hardest setting and you go at it, it's pretty fun.
One game I'm looking forward to is because I'm a big DC Comics books fan. And that's
Injustice: Gods Among Us.
Yeah.
I'm not very happy with what I saw with it.
That's what I said, but Gene got mad.
Like, when I saw the interview and I saw Batman and he punched, Solomon Grundy, punched him and he flew like 50 feet and he went through.
No way! Bullshit!
Where did Batman get this type of power from?
It's like Superman, he punches Harley Quinn up into space and he slams her onto the earth. How does she live to tell this tale?
I was like, okay, this is way too over the top for me.
Okay, yeah, please explain this to me, because for some reason, when Marvel does it and Capcom does it, it's okay. But how come DC characters can't do this?
Well, you see the Hulk beat up Ryu, or Ryu get beat up by the Hulk, and they say, oh, that's fine. But when Superman does something, it has to be multi-explained. It's like, it's just a fighting game.
Well, yeah, true. It's just a fighting game. And that's how you look at it. If you don't look at it that way, then it's going to really, ruin your day. That's the thing. But with Marvel, I think with Capcom, what they've done here, I think it's because of the system that they've used. You know what I mean? They built slowly but surely into a system. We saw what they could do with Marvel superheroes when it came out. We saw what they did before that. We saw what they did with X-Men Children of the Atom. We all know that superheroes, not all of them, but the way they, make it look, everyone can jump really high. Almost everyone has super strength, depending on the character. I mean, I don't want to say they did their homework, but back then, everyone had their own thing. They knew how the character should have been done. I think with DC versus Mortal Kombat, yeah, I was very disappointed with it because of the fact that it just seems like, I understand that DC put that thing, they let them know, look, you can't really kill our characters. You can't, or you can't have our characters kill. I mean, it would look kind of wrong if Batman was killing people, and I understand that. You know what I mean? Of course, nowadays, comics do it now anyway. They don't care.
Right.
But it just seems like, I just think it's the system that they use and why it looks bad. I mean, I just felt as though, like I said, the characters, don't get me wrong, the characters look great. Catwoman looks great. Pitfall versus DC Mortal Kombat.
Right. Yeah.
And all the other women do.
Right.
The Unreal Engine they use, it looks good, but I just don't think it's built right for a fighting engine that much.
For me, the game looks too much like Mortal Kombat to the point where I'm almost afraid that that's what it's going to be. Another juggler where you can basically keep these characters up into the air where you might as well put the controller down because there's no way you can break out of it. You're done.
Well, and that's the thing. A lot of people don't like juggling. Lots of people don't. That's why they created air combos, so you didn't have to worry about juggling. In fact, when they start pushing it out. But it just seems like now they don't really care. And it seems like for all the years that we've played fighting games and for all the years they've had to make fighting games, there's guidelines to follow. And if you can't do something right, before you know it, you got all types of spamming, you have all types of infinites, you know what I mean? Even though now they're more risky to do, but they're still available, you know what I mean? And now, the thing is now it's instead of, hey, back then, you're doing an infinite, you're cheating, now it's, well, you got yourself caught with it, so you deserve it. Like, I've never understood this type of mentality switch. I don't understand it.
Out for each other's throats. Jeez.
Yeah. Over fighting games.
When was the last time you went to an arcade?
Oh my God, I can't tell you. It's been years.
Yeah, tell the audience about the arcade that you're building or that you strive to build.
Well, by next year we're hoping to get something going. We're still looking for leases and things. Like I've been doing a lot of work on backgrounding, blueprinting, stuff like that to see how we want to actually do this stuff. You know what I mean? How many levels of can we get? First off, it's not. If it was up to me, we'd have so many levels of an arcade, but it doesn't mean that it's going to correlate straight to, you know what I mean? That's what we're going to get. Yeah. So it really depends. I mean, we need a gamer lounge here because a lot of kids don't have anywhere to go. They just don't. And as we all know, arcades are somewhere you can always hang out and not have a problem. Even though so many people say, oh, well, they like to cause trouble and drug dealers hang around. I have never, in my life, all arcades I've been to, I have never seen drugs dealt right out openly in an arcade.
Yeah. I've told you multiple times, and even Gene's here now. Like we've gone to we still have our arcades over here, and we go to them quite often. And there's nothing but a good crowd in there having fun. Even the fighting game community over here is actually really good.
Yeah, there's an arcade over here that we go to, and there's of course they have all the Marvel, Capcom fighting games, and we just get together and they just play, and
we even got the new Blaze Blue machines and from Japan, and they're definitely from Japan because they got the insert yen on here over here, and
I just got Blaze Blue. Was it 2 weeks ago? Was it that and Persona? Because I'm getting ready to start a fighting game tournament for the channel.
Right.
So it'll be for after talking to a couple guys. It'll be for. It was only supposed to be for PS3 because I only have a PS3 and a Wii. But now that a couple guys have come on and say, look, we'll take the load for you. We're going to have it for PS3 and Xbox.
Cool.
So, I mean, we're getting ready to do this. I mean, the first two games will be Blaze Blue and Persona 4, and then we're going to roll out Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom, Street Fighter, AE. They're talking about if we can get enough fan demand, we may go Mortal Kombat route, and we may go...
Killer Instinct?
Oh, no, this is strictly online. If I could get Killer Instinct online. Yeah. There'd be a lot of games, actually, that I would do that with. But we're also limited to games because I'm doing all the hosting and commentary. So
get us in on that, man. You gotta let the Brotherhood of Gaming in on that.
Hey, it's fine. Like I said, let me know what you guys want to do. If you can do the spectator mode and record it and do commentary, I don't have a problem.
Oh, well, we can do that.
Maybe people that want in on this, it'll be easier on me. You know what I mean?
No problem.
Because then we can keep hosting fights and people will come to see the fights.
Yeah, that's one of the hardest things about doing video game Let's Plays and stuff, because it's so easy to get into that zone where you're just looking at the screen and you're just keeping completely quiet and kind of oblivious to that there's an audience around you. And then you just catch yourself and you're like, oh, shit, I'm supposed to be saying something.
But for me, it's like, I know, like, with Blaze Blue and Persona, since I haven't played Blaze Blue in so long, and, this Persona's new, I went in and played it by myself on single player, and I was on Twitter, I was tweeting and playing at the same time with my arcade stick, and I'm like, look, I'm counting frames, I'm seeing juggles, I'm seeing where you can freeze them, where it's stun mode, and then you can go into a combo, like, I was explaining, there it goes.
Whoops, I got caught again.
I was going into a lot of detail with them, and I was going by character, you know what I mean, while I was talking to them on Twitter while I was playing. So, it was just like, I have to learn the game before I can talk about the game. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You gotta look for. And I think that's been the biggest part of it. It's been just learning the system. And it almost feels like homework at this point. It doesn't feel fun right now because I have to know this stuff. So
yeah, that's how it is with my reviews. Like it gets to the point where it's not really fun because you're looking for what you need to.
Yeah, it's
Right.
Like I'll even get lazy enough to the point where I'm like, Gene, you edit this. I can't. I can't do this right now. I can't look for crappy parts in Epic Mickey 2 just to show them why. I can't.
You'll find them. Go.
We have like 16 hours of footage. I can't go through all of this. I can't deal with it, man.
Sometimes it's good to have rage. It is.
Yeah.
It works to your advantage.
Oh my gosh. But
It's just something that needs to be done. I mean, I feel as though because we've already constructed rules. I've talked to people on the fan page on, because a lot of them, they're constantly playing fighting games. They go to these tournaments, so it's like, okay, we're all going to sit down and we're going to draw up some rules and we're going to debate on each rule that we think would work and what wouldn't work and what we can improve on. And I'm really happy, for what we've done so far, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I'll be doing a standalone video for it to do the general rules. But it should be fun. This is about being positive and not showing the fighting game community. Because if you look on YouTube, you can find videos. The fighting game community guys are at each other's throats.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
Told the other guy to kill himself. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
like, I wish I had recorded my experience, but I was at the arcade a few weeks ago playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and then there was these group of guys that were playing on the other ones next to me, and they were doing really well. And then like one of them wants to play my game, and naturally I get my ass handed to me. And then these group of guys, and some of them were Asians, obviously, 'cause they're the best at these fighting games. And then I'm just like, guys, I can't do this. I don't understand how you guys are so great at these games. Please, you gotta help me. Like, you see what's happening here. I'm trying to play as Mega Man and I can't do anything. You guys are juggling and murdering me. And then, they actually sat me down. They with the controls, they were showing me some of the moves, and they were helping me out. And that's what the community needs to do, and not be at each other's throats, but helping each other have fun with these games.
Not laugh people out of the arcade, but help them out.
And I wish I had caught that on footage because it was such a nice thing, and it was a lot of fun. It made me want to go back.
It's very sad to see that we've gone from willing to help each other out to just jump in the lake and die. That, you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand this. Like, one guy sent me a video the other day. He was in spectator mode. You know what I mean? And the two guys were fighting, and like I said, the guy was just like, you should kill yourself because you suck at this game so bad. And I'm thinking,
are you serious?
Like, why would you even attempt to say something like that? That's not even trash talking. Like, you know,
and that's what bugs me too. Is like, there's a lot of times where I'll see these YouTube comments, or I'll see the things that people say, and I'm just like, how can you make your brain come up with the idea and actually say that? Do you even hear what you're saying before it comes out of your mouth? Because some of these things these people say are so cruel.
It is.
It's unbelievable.
Is this a case of people who just don't know how to act? I mean, sometimes when you're dealing with these people, you're not dealing with grown-up people. You're just dealing with overgrown children. And a good example is the whole Street Fighter Cross Tekken fiasco with he was sexually harassing that girl.
Oh, that was terrible.
It's like,
That was hilarious.
you're on TV, or at least a web based show. There's got to be a certain way that you're supposed to act.
And what bothered me the most is not only she didn't speak up for herself. But apparently we're hearing now, we're hearing off camera. She did say something. They did tell him about it. But her comrades, her team, none of them stood up for her and was like, hey, all right, you got to stop that. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
None of them. They let her sit there and take that on her own. And the guy is reading the comments, and the comments are just as nasty. Oh, we want to see this, we want to see that. And he's pretty much playing up to them at the comments who's watching on the stream. I'm just like, this is horrible. It's just absolutely sick.
And while people can argue that she really didn't stick up for herself, it's kind of understandable to see why she's alone in there with a crowd of people that are all on top of her. There's really not much you can do about that except leave or pick a fight.
Yes, well, that's the thing. And I don't think any of them would have had the heart to even get in her face anyway about it. But, women down here, if you get in their face, they'll get right back in your face.
Right.
You know what I mean? They don't care. So to see her just sit there and try to take it and then try to cover herself up or try to do all these different things. I'm just thinking to myself, if it's going to bother you that much, get up and at least get up and walk out to make a statement. Mm-hmm. Get up and walk out and be like, you know what?
That alone would have said something.
Right, exactly.
And then they're going on talking about the rival team that I guess was from Namco or something, and they're just like, oh, they're not here. Why aren't they here? Oh, maybe they died in the car accident. Let's hope they did.
In a bus crash. That's how we roll. What?
Huh?
Like they're from the street or something, you know?
I've never heard somebody embarrass themselves so much and think it was cool because the people that he's talking to are lower than him. So it made him look cool. Like, it was ridiculous to watch, you know? And when he was talking to her on the stream, she's like, yeah, I have a boyfriend. She had said that on the screen. You know, they was like, he knows you're here? And she was like, yeah. And he was like, does he know that you go through this type of stuff? And he was like, yeah. I was like, if I was her boyfriend, I'd have made a beeline right down to where they were at, and somebody would have been getting hurt. You're not going to talk to my girl like that. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. I believe it.
I believe it. Yeah, shoot. That's real.
So this thing, people can't deal with real, people that get obsessed in this internet type world or some type of celebrity status, they can't deal with real world people.
Exactly.
That's unfortunately how the world is right now.
Right.
You kind of got to get worse before you get better, and let's hope that the better's around the corner. Well, we know a thing or two about what it is to be. God, what did he just say? Don't you hate that when you forget the word? It's like,
it's on the tip of your tongue. Come on.
It's on the tip of my tongue. You know, stall for me, Gene. Stall him.
What about what I said about her? About what he said?
Yeah, it was about her. It's like, it was a terrible joke. Never mind. Forget it. Damn it. Waited too long.
Every time's passed now, so.
My delivery is ruined.
Well, you're right. It's like, yeah, people get too obsessed. They get too into this, or they take things too personally. I remember it was 1 year ago. Me and Bill did probably the most successful video we've ever did. We did our Capcom Christmas Carol.
Yeah, I think
which was just a 15-minute, you know, us poking fun at Capcom and the whole thing. And then the response we got was overwhelmingly positive. But we did get a few people who were, you know, really upset. Even sending us personal messages. And it's like, dude.
It's like it's like, oh, Gene, I'm afraid to read this personal message. You do it.
You know, it's like, yeah, people
like his personal messages, really.
Right.
It's like, I hate it's like the personal messages. God.
A lot of them are in the comments, but a lot are also personal messages. Like, who would just take the time to write? Like I said, people will write me like a 7-paragraph message just cursing me out. Like,
I ain't reading that. You're mine.
You could have got on video and said what you had to say if it was that serious. You know?
Right.
Like, wow.
Yeah, they're taking stuff too seriously, and it's just unfortunate.
Oh, it's just sad. It really is. I never thought that I would see gaming be this immature. Even when we were kids, we weren't this immature.
Oh.
Well, of course, everybody had their whole Sega and Nintendo fiasco, where Sega does what Nintendo don't. That's as bad as it got, and it never went to flying fists.
It was just a friendly. It just felt like a friendly rivalry, not something that, you know, it's like it's life or death or anything.
Yeah. These people now, and it's the thing. You see people hunting each other down online to kill them, and you see people just like, was it that one kid not too long ago? He found out that one of the characters and Naruto died, so he killed himself. I'm like, what? The character died, and when someone had posted, they were like, yeah, he's like, jokes on him. The guy comes back later in the series. I'm like, wow,
that's terrible.
It's ridiculous.
It is.
I want to blame the parents. I really do. I mean...
Oh, yeah, because they're using these video games and these animes and these television shows as babysitters, and then they want to blame the companies for putting out this content for bloodied stuff, and you got companies like 4Kids coming around ruining everything, and... It's just like, well, be a freaking parent! Watch your children! Monitor what they're watching!
And that's the thing. They don't care what they're watching. Like I said, half the comments I get, where are the parents? Where are the parents? Why are you, who lets you act this way?
Why are there children on Call of Duty?
Beats me. When I did that video on Call of Duty, that gameplay video, all it was a bunch of little kids. I'm like, y'all gotta be kidding me. Yeah, kid, like, oh my god.
Didn't you say once in one of your videos that you went to a GameStop and this mother was trying to decide what to buy for
I
his
showed
kid?
the video of that.
Yeah.
God of War, or what else was it?
It was Call of Duty, God of War, and it was something else. And the kid's like, and like the kid, it only comes up to like her waist. And like, and I'm like, he is way too young to be playing those games. You know, but she doesn't care. She didn't care. And that's what, you know, made me mad, because it's just like, parents just, like, no matter how many rating systems you make, no matter how many you slap it right in front of their face, you do know that this is a mature game, right? They don't care. They don't. Because they think that their child is mature enough to handle these things. But if they actually watch their child play, they realize they're not.
No.
And some kids are smarter than we give them credit for. But
Yes, they are. There's some kids that are smart and can handle themselves adequately. They can. There are some kids. But it's just sad that every time we hear something, it's always, you know, majority of them acting badly.
Right.
It's almost like a diamond in the rough. You got to find whatever, you know, with those type of kids, like that know how to act.
When Marvel vs. Capcom 3 first came out, didn't you go to the midnight release and something happened at your GameStop?
Well, funny story. I told this once. When Marvel vs. Capcom 3, well, vanilla Marvel vs. Capcom 3 came out in February. And by the way, I pre-ordered the special edition of the original Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which is what I like to call how to waste $80. Damn it. Well, anyway, it was a midnight release, and we were all in line, and then this mother comes into the store just yelling at the top of her lungs. She was all pissed off because her son was in a video game store at midnight. It just kept going on and on and on, and I'm like, damn, too bad I don't have my camera with me. This is definitely perfect on YouTube.
Did she blame the kid, or did she blame GameStop?
Just the kid. She was mad at him, and I go like, "What the hell are you doing in a store at midnight?" And you know, just going on and on and on. And I felt sorry for the game owners because I know him, and I just felt bad for him. But yeah, so that's another reason why I don't go to many midnight premieres.
I've never been to a midnight release ever.
Really?
I always felt that if I pre-order a game, 9 times 10 is going to be online anyway if I pre-order. But if I'm going to go pick up a game, the difference between 12 a.m. and 10 a.m. is not that big of a deal for me.
Right.
I'll wait for the next day to go pick it up.
I'm the kind of guy, I'll wait till my lunch hour. So I'll get it at 12, I'll get it, and then I'll play it later that night. Besides, speaking of which, event, funny thing, it was in November, last month, I felt like getting the Tron game for the Wii. I'm the kind of guy, I don't usually buy new games, I usually buy them used or pre-owned. And I went out to go get it, and that happened to be the same day that Call of Duty Black Ops 2 came out. And the line was all the way around GameStop, all the way around Payless Shoe Store, all the way around Taco Bell. They had a DJ out there pumping out, and I'm going like, damn. See, the games I like never get midnight premieres like this.
Why didn't Tales of Zillia get this?
I've seen a DJ and try to hype someone. Did you guys see the Call of Duty commercial they keep playing on TV?
Yeah, I seen that.
Where the guy's dressed up, like in the fatigue, and like what the hell? Who dresses up to a midnight release? What the hell? And I got my Call of Duty, and there's like old people there wearing Call of Duty shirts. Like, yeah, Call of Duty. I'm like, really?
No, I did get Call of Duty Black Ops 2, and it's the first Call of Duty game I've ever played, so I can't really speak on the other ones. But I will say that it's definitely the smoothest game I've ever played.
I haven't played Black Ops 2 yet. I wasn't very happy with the way they tried to promote it, because they had Oliver North try to push Black Ops 2.
Right.
And I really didn't appreciate that. I have Black Ops 1, and I have Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1, the first one.
But overall, even though it's incredibly smooth, I'm not having too much fun. It's just like, well, I'm running around shooting things just like I thought I would.
It's exactly what Ego Raptor said. Well, it looks... I'm just running around shooting things.
Haven't done that before.
I've done that before.
Yeah, done that before. And you know what? But it sells a ton of units. It does. And here's the thing with the Call of Duty fan base, because as much as I don't have a problem with Call of Duty or their fan base, if they're going to play it, let them play it, let them have fun. You'll get Call of Duty, you'll say it sucks, right? You'll say you'll complain the entire time until the next Call of Duty comes out, because you're saying, well, the next one will be better. Then they'll buy the next Call of Duty. They'll say that one sucks, and then say the last Call of Duty they played was better than that one. And it's just wash, rinse, repeat.
How do you improve? How do you improve upon a game like this? Because I've played and seen multiple genres of FPS, like Halo and Call of Duty and Red Faction and similar games, and they all basically look like they have the exact same control scheme. They're just in different areas shooting different monsters.
Pretty much. I mean, other than a number of weapons or features, it's still a first-person shooter. And, you know, like I'm still to the point where it's like, if I want to play a first-person shooter, like outside of Call of Duty, I have Resistance. I have like in Killzone, I have a couple first-person shooters, maybe about 2 or 3, maybe 4, maybe this generation. That's it. Only 4. I'll go back on my PC and play Doom with the mouse and keyboard. You know what I mean?
The same thing.
Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wolfenstein. He would say, stop! And he shoots it. Oh! He falls like, yeah.
Speaking of which, what are you currently playing right now?
I'm playing between, I'm trying to get ready for the fighting tournament, so I'm getting all the fighting games together. I'm playing that. Playing Arkham City. I think Arkham City is pretty much the game, because ever since I got all the different skins for Batman.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. The animated series costume.
Yep. I'm trying to beat the game with all the different skins. So
one thing that's disappointing is not all the cutscenes will have them.
No, they won't. I've noticed that. They start right from the beginning. You notice that. I'm like, oh, that kind of sucks. But what can you do?
Some will, some won't. I'm just like, damn it, because I wanted to do we did a Let's Play of Arkham City, and I wanted to do the whole game as animated Batman. I'm just like, damn it.
They kind of screwed up. You know what? I had to talk about this with my friend the other day. I said I was really hoping that they could have taken, because I really would have. I understand they got the Sinestro Corps Batman outfit in there.
I must have missed that comic.
Yeah, I'd have rather them taking that out and put in the original Azrael Batman suit.
Ooh, that would have been bad.
That'd have been great. I'd have loved it. You know what I mean?
Azrael's in that game, by the way.
Yeah. I think maybe I need to send a message to Rocksteady about it and be like, hey, it's possible.
Can you work it? Yeah.
What also would have been a nice touch is if you got like a little bit of extra powers depending on the suit you got. Like for the Batman Beyond outfit, it would have been nice to have the jet boots, or some of the like new fangled technologies with each suit had. That would have been cool.
Do you think Rocksteady can make a good Superman game?
You know, I hear this so much. And you know what? I believe there's leaked footage somewhere online that there's a Superman game being made, and then he canceled it.
Yeah.
But they released the video anyway of the gameplay for Superman, and you know what? It looked pretty damn good. I was really upset about it. I think if you give Rocksteady it, they could do a good job with it, because they have said they are interested in other comics. Personally, personally speaking, I would love to see them do a Flash video game.
Oh.
I would love to see what they could do with Speed, and see what they could do with the Flash, and see if they can really turn it out.
There you go.
But because Superman, look, he's Superman. He's Superman. You know what you're going to get with him. The storyline, which, I love Arkham Asylum, I love Arkham City. Of course, they've taken liberties with Arkham Asylum, the first one. Would really like to see what they could do with Superman if they went the all-star Superman route.
Yes.
With Morrison, to see, everything that Superman was going through at the time. So at least there is a sense of danger that Superman can be killed or weak. You know what I mean?
Right.
It would be interesting.
Well, I also like the idea when it kind of brings to mind the new 52 Superman, how they've basically made him hurtable. So basically, you can now make a game and explain, well, new 52 Superman, he can be hurt if it's hard enough.
Yeah. But, there's always, you should know when you're going into making games like this, though, there's always going to be, I'm playing this, there's going to be, if someone say, hey, look, we're making a Superman game, number one, you're going to be compared already to Superman 64.
Oh, no.
Yeah, for one.
Which we're doing a playthrough, by the way. Guys, keep in watch. We're going to do it. Next month.
And then you also have those fans who are going to be so concerned that they're not going to get Superman right. You know what I mean? So it's going to be tough. I think that even if they make the game and they do a great job, somebody's still not going to be happy enough.
Yeah, because I think we've only had ever 3 good Superman games. One was the arcade game, and one was the Death and Return of Superman, which was on Sega and Nintendo. and Shadow of Apocalypse, which, yeah, good Superman game.
Well, one we did a playthrough of Lego Batman 2.
Oh, yeah. That's basically Lego Superman. Forget it.
As much as I like Legos, because as a kid we all play with Legos, I'm not into the whole Lego video games, but I can't tell you enough that I like watching them. I can sit and watch somebody play Lego Batman and Lego Superman, but I don't
You've got to sit through our Lego Batman 2 playthrough. It was golden, man.
Well, the funny thing about it is every time Superman takes off and flies, the John Williams theme starts playing.
So, yeah, Superman just swooped in and stole this game under Batman. So I'm flying around Gotham City with the John Williams theme playing in the background while he's on the ground with the Batmobile or running around. He's like, God damn. Or like during the levels, when I'm playing as Superman, I'm flying around while he's the one that has to play as Batman and go through all the puzzles. And I'm just flying around watching him, shooting the bad guys with my laser vision. And he's just like, this is horse shit.
Going to the comic books real quick, I just wanted to ask this question, Yvette. What do you think of Superman and Wonder Woman hooking up?
I would say there's one part of me that says Superman's old-fashioned, he should be with Lois Lane. That's one part of me that says that. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure there's a lot of us that are saying, it's about damn time.
Yeah!
Thank God.
It took you so long, you know? We have a legit power couple now. So
exactly.
Yeah, finally, somebody that can take Superman without it feeling like a shotgun to the back.
I really don't have a problem with it. I mean, especially now what they're doing with Batman, it's like he's going his own way. They turned the Green Lantern likes men now, apparently.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with it, but it's like, I'll put it like this. This is how I see things. When people say that they're gay, I don't get offended because it doesn't bother me personally. Mm-hmm. But I see it as, well, that's less competition out there that I have to deal with.
Pretty much.
That's how I see it.
Less competition, the better.
Less trouble for me to have to deal with.
So, as far as I'm concerned, what they're doing with DC, I don't have a problem with certain characters being gay. Marvel's had characters being gay, like Northstar for years.
Northstar, yeah.
Yeah. So, from Alpha Flight. So, I don't have a problem with that. It just took me by surprise because they were like, oh yeah, we're just going to reboot the entire universe. Oh yeah, and by the way, we're going to make him gay. Okay.
All right. That's very specific. Like people were worried. Like, is it going to be Superman? Is it going to be Batman? Is it going to be the Flash? Is it going to be Robin?
No, it was the first Green Lantern, Alan Scott.
It's not even Hal Jordan. It's not John Stewart. It's Alan.
Yeah, so it's all about selling comic books and getting attention.
Well, it's trying to touch on a demographic.
Right.
That's all, new demographic. You know what would have been great? I understand with the first Green Lantern, I would have loved to have seen Guy Gardner come out and say he was gay. That would have been hilarious for me.
Oh, Guy Gardner, that's great.
I would have picked up that book on day one, opened it, and just laughed the entire time. It doesn't matter what happened afterwards. Doesn't matter.
It's funny because it's like I really hope gay people weren't expecting to pick up the comic and be like, oh my god, are we going to see Alan strip now?
No.
Oh. I don't understand why they feel that they do these things when it comes to these type of characters. Like I said, other than a demographic, there's so many characters in the universes in both these Marvel and DC or whatever comic universe. Nobody gets a chance to really, dare I say, get promoted at one point. Like, you had a good chance to take Booster Gold and run with him in his series. And it was like, it started out great. It was like, okay, now where are you going next? The same thing with Blue Beetle. I mean, you had so many, that's what the 52 was supposed to be all about. To give other heroes, other than the big three, give them all this type of emphasis and give them some type of shine. And say, hey, don't forget about us. Mm-hmm. And that's what it was about. But it seemed like it didn't do so well. And the story was great. I loved it. But it was just, I don't know. This is DC. It's the same thing with Marvel. You got something, you run with it, and then you say, okay, this is enough, we're going to turn back. Like, I'm so upset with Marvel right now, it's ridiculous.
One thing I want to deviate into is the movie scene. Why do you think DC is having such a problem catching up to Marvel when it comes to movies? Because I will give Marvel credit. Their movies,
It's probably
they've been planned out for the next 20 years, but DC, it just seems like they're always trailing behind.
it's probably Disney.
I feel like this. DC, if they're smart, because for what we're hearing now about the Justice League movie,
Yeah.
I'm very worried about it because they're just going to so far, the rumor is that they're going to bring in, Darkseid and all this, and they're going to bring just all these heroes together out of nowhere and pair them with gods. And I'm like, the average person coming in here is not going to know what's going on.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think it's going to be a little bit too comic bookish. You're really going to have to know these characters. They should go the Avengers route, and of course Batman already has his thing. Superman already has his thing. You need to start making other movies for other characters, and then bring them together.
Right.
It's the only way you're going to get the crowd. I think, this is how I see it, the playing field right now. When it comes to animation, DC has Marvel beat so far. When it comes to animation. Not to say that anything is wrong Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. I love that show. But Justice League is on a completely different level than Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Right.
When it comes to movies, Marvel has it, as opposed to DC.
Right.
And you know what? Marvel wouldn't really even have that if it wasn't for Iron Man. Because if Iron Man 1 wasn't successful, because the Fantastic Four, people were just like, seriously? Like, they weren't very happy with it. I didn't have, I really, when I thought Fantastic Four, you think Galactus, you think Silver Surfer, but you also think, where the hell are the Skrulls? And you really didn't run into that yet with Fantastic Four. There's talks about there being a reboot already. Without Iron Man, we wouldn't have saw Captain America, I don't think. We saw the Hawk, but the Hawk, oh my God, the first Hawk movie that came out was so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It was so bad. I was shocked that they even took a gamble to make another one. I was happy with the second one, though. I was happy with that one.
It did his job.
It seems Hulk and Punisher both suffer that same problem.
Oh, Punisher. Oh, God.
Yeah, that's another one.
It makes me want to cry because every time they try to make a Punisher movie, it fails. And
Yeah.
I don't understand why Hollywood feels as though the Punisher has to be set in California. I don't get that. But, the Thomas Jane played a good Punisher, but the only scene that was worth it in the Punisher movie was when him and Kevin Nash were fighting.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the most physical scene.
Right.
And then the newest Punisher movie came out not too long ago, and that was supposed to be a takeoff of Punisher Max, which I'm a big fan of Punisher Max. And I've even talked to some of the writers, and I've let them know my likes and my dislikes very, very vocally about it. And other than after Garth Ennis decided to leave, or Enos, however you want to say it, decided to leave, Punisher, it pretty much fell apart. So I have the Blu-ray here for Punisher Warzone because it's supposed to be loosely based off of Punisher Max. And then I said, okay, you got Ray Stevenson. I like Ray Stevenson as an actor. He can pull this off. However, the movie just fell apart altogether. What the hell is going on? What is this? There's one scene where the Punisher punches a guy in the face and his face explodes. It's like it just crushes.
Oh. He's human. He's not supposed to do that.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? All he did was punch the guy. His face, it was like punching porcelain. It just shattered. I was like, what the hell?
That's exactly what happened in Call of Duty Black Ops 2 when I was playing that. I did the melee move on somebody, and their head just came clean off, and my jaw dropped. I'm like, oh! I just wanted to knock him out, not murder him. I just bopped him in the head with my gun, and boom! I'm like, oh shit!
The only thing that's good about Punisher Max is they try to make it somewhat dark and gritty, and the gunplay at the end. When he goes into that building, he takes out at least 50, 60 guys. Yeah. The gunplay, just to watch the technical aspects of him having to learn, when you watch the behind the scenes on how he had to learn how to load the guns and everything. Mm-hmm. Other than that, there's nothing to write home about.
Right.
It wasn't that great.
What movies are you looking forward to next year? First of all, of course, I'm a big Superman fan, so I'm looking forward to
Man of Steel.
I'm also a big Trekkie, as my dad is, so I'm looking forward to Star Trek Into Darkness.
And Godzilla.
Well, that's a year away.
Oh wait. Yeah.
But I am looking forward to Pacific Rim. That looks good, too.
Yeah, you know what? We had this discussion on the fan page. We were watching the trailer, and there were these humans, to get into the robots or whatever.
Yeah.
And my comment was, humans should know better that they can't fight monsters by now. The only person that can fight monsters is Godzilla. That was my comment.
Well, it looks interesting because it looks like Guillermo del Toro is trying to do the whole, Gundams versus giant Japanese monsters thing, so it might be kind of cool. I don't know.
It might be. I mean, I'll give it a chance. It's something different, so I'll give it a chance. Mm-hmm. What is it, Superman?
Yeah.
I like where Superman's going. I do not like that outfit. I don't like it. And I'm talking about in the crotch area. If you've ever seen a screenshot for it, because they don't have the red tights. Mm-hmm. But the guy looks like he has like this big sock that's in his crotch like this, apparently. And he's just walking around like, hey, I'm Superman. And that's my problem.
Now I've got to look for it. I didn't notice it.
On Yahoo about it. And they had the screenshot, and they're like, "What? Why does this look bad?" And all the comments was, that crotch. That's all the comments were. And I was just like, wow, yeah, they got to do something about that to break up the color scheme.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, but I'm looking forward to it, We'll see what happens. I mean, I trust Zack Snyder because he did not only a great job on 300, he did such an immaculate job with Watchmen, as opposed to, what he had to work with the time restraints that he had to.
Which is something real difficult trying to bring to screen.
What's that?
Watchmen is something real difficult to try to bring to screen.
Well, you gotta think, Watchmen, it was very dark. I mean, you gotta think, Alan Moore was already mad at all the other movies they made of his, that he just, if you watch League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, I thought he was gonna have a heart attack.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That was disappointing.
And the thing is, he came out and he said that he would never watch V for Vendetta. I thought that was pretty good.
I liked V.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. But he said he'd never watch it. He said the same thing about Watchmen. He was like, I'll never watch Watchmen. He said that no one can ever direct and make a movie on Watchmen. Yeah, well, Alan Moore, you need to come off your high horse because he did his thing on Watchmen. Mm-hmm. Zack Snyder, I give him credit for that. Sucker Punch was nothing to write home about, if you ask me. It really wasn't. But I trust him. Right now, I'd say he's 2 for 3. So I trust him with Superman just to see what he can do.
I hear you. What do you look forward to, Will?
No, same things. Obviously. Nothing. Well, we still have to go see The Hobbit, actually.
Yeah. Have you seen The Hobbit, by the way, or?
It came out, I believe, on Friday, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna wait till the lines die down before I heard a story about people waiting.
I guarantee you, if you go tonight, you're going to see somebody dressed up to go in there.
I don't know, because remember after that whole shooting thing that happened in theaters, I thought they banned costumes.
That's what I was thinking too.
In certain places they have, but not all places. But yeah, I can definitely understand why they'd want to do that. Right. But I mean, seriously, if you're coming up dressed as Batman to a screen debut and you respect Batman, 9 times out of 10 you don't have a gun on you.
Yeah, I hear it.
You just don't. You may have some batarangs maybe or something, but
not much damage that's gonna do. This is a sticko.
But you're not gonna have a gun on you. So
it reminds me of that. God, what was that? I think it was a DirecTV commercial where that guy got bored and took karate classes, then became a vigilante called the Fist of Goodness. I love that.
So it goes down.
Yeah.
I watched Rises not too long ago. Last week, I watched Rises, and I think I have to agree with everyone else when I say that it's a good movie, but it's not as good as The Dark Knight. It was just, I don't know. Dealing with the Joker was on a completely
the series level. Peaked at 2. God, I have so many problems with Dark Knight Rises, but I'm not going to get into that because people might kill me in the night.
I did. I just didn't understand. First off, I didn't like how they did Catwoman. Not that Anne Hathaway did a bad Catwoman. I was okay with that. You have to, for what it was. The fact that she lured Batman in and said, the reason I'm doing this is because I don't want him to kill me. I'm thinking to myself, Catwoman would never say anything like that. I'm afraid that someone's going to kill me, so I'm luring you to somebody. What? That's not the Catwoman I know.
Right.
Catwoman I know would laugh in the face of death. But whatever. Yeah. She would never admit that somebody would kill her like that. I don't know. But there was a number of things. And you know what? It's kind of funny because when Batman's trying to get back, to society, and he's got to climb up, with the rope and all.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, for years, people tried to jump, and they couldn't make it. And it shows these people, I'm thinking to myself, the only thing I'm thinking to myself is, white man can't jump. You gonna tell me for years this is what kept you down here?
Really? Because you can't make the jump? Now, I'm not in the best shape of my life, but I'm more than sure I could have made that jump easy.
You could have made that jump.
Right.
I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me.
Because even they tried to explain that it's because you don't fully believe your life is on the line, and unless you have your life on the line, you don't have that adrenaline rush. And I'm just like, even if I have a rope attached to me, I still feel something's on the line. I'm going to be stuck down here if I don't get out.
There was just so many, like I said, there were a number of things that I felt there was a problem with. The only thing I liked was the twist at the end. I don't want to spoil it for, since people will be, I don't want to spoil it the way he twisted it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But that's the only part I liked about the movie. I mean, to be quite honest, I just thought that there was way too much flying going on. With Batman, way too much flying.
Flying the bat. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like, it was nice to see the bat pod again, though.
I agree.
It's nice to see that.
Yeah.
Well, it's been something.
Thank you very much for joining. I always wanted to talk to you, and like I said, I'm a big fan of your videos, and not just your video game videos, but your sports videos. I watch them both too.
I tried to open up the art videos again, but they're starting to act like idiots about it. It's like, I want to read, I don't want to stay in one thing when it comes to just doing videos. I want to keep branching out now,
Exactly.
But it seems like they won't let me do that for some reason. I don't know.
Well,
They need to just mind their damn business, just let me do me, but I don't know. Like, seriously, if people don't like what I do, don't watch it.
there you go. It's when people leave comments about us like, "Oh, you suck" or something. Well, watch something else.
Go watch some other popular guy that plays games, or I don't know, play it yourself.
I don't get that. And since I started doing videos, it almost does feel like I talk about games more than I play them. So when I do play them, I'm really relaxed in playing them.
Right.
I'm just like, I feel good.
Well, because you've made your voice heard. You've had your say in on it.
Right.
So you can really just let loose and let go, because all that there's now.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Once I talk about something, I try to move on to the next thing and just forget about it, unless somebody asks me to do a recap or, you got to keep up on this to see where it's going. Other than that, after I'm done talking about it, I'm like, whatever, now you just move on.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's refreshing to hear someone at least speak from the heart and tell the truth. I call you the man who tells the truth.
Tell it like it is.
Yeah, when you're surrounded by so many different entities that are just trying to feed you stuff or
And
tell
that's
you.
the thing.
Yeah.
I always try to tell people that's how it should be. You should just speak from your heart and just tell the truth. I mean, because what do you gain by lying? Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and it's not just the companies. Of course, they have an agenda, but like, there's a lot of YouTubers who will just lie, and I'm just like, why? What's the point? What's going on here? You start to find out all these things about people carrying on. They've been lying about their lives and they don't have jobs and all this other stuff. And you start finding out all this stuff. It's like, why did you need to do this?
Right. Just trying to get your own point across. You feel you have to discredit someone who doesn't agree with everything that you agree with.
Yeah, like there's a lot of people who like Devil May Cry that do comments and videos on it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't go to their videos. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I don't go rushing to their videos and be like, I'm going to hit the dislike button or flag them. I don't do that. Yeah, that's his opinion. I don't care.
Right. Last time I checked.
But according to these companies, you can't have an opinion. So.
And you know what? And that's exactly what it is. They don't want you to have an opinion, even though we had a connection at one point when it came to companies, and now we don't have that right now. And when you're trying to get it back to what it is, it's like so many people want to fight you on it. I don't understand that. Why wouldn't you demand more? Why wouldn't you want to be side by side with them?
Right.
Instead of, they're going to control us and do what we have to do and do whatever they want, and then we just have to deal with it. No. You have to, it's up to the consumer at the end of the day if they want to buy it or not. They need you.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems like people don't understand that.
Right.
Either that or they don't care. Don't do.
Probably a bit of both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like you mentioned before, like maybe they're just unfortunately, I do think there are people that are just addicted to this, where they feel like they have to buy everything and every DLC. And
I need my cap crack.
Yeah, I need my, or whatever. And it's like, or they act like I have no choice, I have to get this. Like, yes, you do have a choice. You do have the power, but a lot of people don't believe that.
They don't believe in themselves, and that's what it comes down to.
That's right.
But yet they want to be respected. I don't understand that.
You gotta respect yourself before you respect anyone else can get to respect you. Right.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Event, it's been a lot of fun talking to you. Again, you're always welcome on our channel, like anytime to do commentaries and stuff. Like even these Skype meetings is fun. You got to get on Skype more often.
Yeah, I only get on Skype unless someone asks me to.
Okay, get your ass on Skype.
Yeah. I turned on the channel, see what's going on. I see Sonic Adventure HD with Will and Advanced Stats. I'm looking around like, oh, I see how it is.
Yeah, Gene, I don't need you. I have friends.
I can tell I'm not wanted, sir.
I've got other friends I can do commentaries with. I don't need you. I can call up Vince Stars and he'll do a commentary with me on Superman 64. He'll do it.
I think if I did a commentary on Superman 64, I think I wouldn't even be talking about the actual game, like the gameplay. What do you think about this gameplay? Do I really need to say anything?
He'll do a commentary with me on Sonic 06.
I do rings. What the hell is it? The rage would build really quick.
Well, that's the thing, though. That's what's great about commentary, because, like I said, you get into that zone where you're just stuck at the screen, just like oblivious to the people that are around you. But if you can keep up the commentary and you can keep it good and consistent while playing the game, and that's something, unfortunately, we did kind of lack later in the Sonic Adventure. Like, eventually, we both kind of did get quiet. I don't know if it's because we were out of things to say or we were getting so enveloped in the game, but I'm just like, oh, I really hope he says something. come on, Event. It's either you're getting bored or come on, speak. Tell me something.
You got to look at commentaries when you have multiple people. You got to look at almost like either wrestling or Monday Night Football. You always have that person who can be the color analyst, but then you also have that guy who can be the technical guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that's where it works very well when it comes to, dual gameplay commentaries and stuff like that. You can play off of each other. If you have two guys who aren't very in sync with each other, or they don't even like each other, that's not going to very well.
Well, it works.
I think
unless you have like somebody, like say like wrestling, where you have one commentator who's for something and the other commentator who absolutely trashes it. Mm-hmm.
It's actually dynamic, right? I think what works with me and Will is that we've known each other for so long that we can easily bounce off each other very well.
Yeah, that's what you need. Yeah, like that's what I said. When I do gameplay commentaries, I'll play a little bit of the game and then that's it. You know what I mean? Like I don't think I can sit there and do like an hour commentary by myself. I think I'd kill myself. Like I would just get tired.
It's really hard to do a commentary by yourself. I've done it, but
me too. I recently did a commentary on Tomb Raider Legend, and when I do solo commentary, I've done a few, and it's okay, but it's just not the same. As a matter of fact, Will had people on his personal message telling him, "Hey, Will, Gene's doing commentaries without your permission." I'm like, "Oh, really?"
Oh yeah. I had recently gotten like messages where, like, seriously, some of the fans are like, they're letting me know, like, "Hey, Will, Gene's playing Tomb Raider without your permission. You got to do something, man, because we know how much you love Tomb Raider." And I'm just like, I know. yeah, you're right. I should punish him.
If you take it by like a stage by stage basis, it goes pretty quick. But like, I would never be able to do like say Final Fantasy 7 and do like, oh, I'm going to do 2-3 hours of Final Fantasy 7. By that half hour, I'd be like, you know what, I'm done with Final Fantasy.
Because another one of the problems is, like, especially if you're a single commentator, you really kind of have to rely on the game to give you some material to talk about. Because when it comes to a bad video game, it could be terrible, but you could have so much fun playing it, and it just gives you so much ammo to work with. Whereas, say, you could be playing a really good game like Devil May Cry 3, and you really run out of stuff to talk about real quick.
like even when I play Batman when I play Batman Arkham City, I don't even say much when I'm looking at the game, unless someone hits me. I'm like, son of a bitch! Like, I just get mad. You know what I mean? Like, other than that, like, I really don't have much to say about the games. Like, even with my friends sitting next to me, I'm just like, just sitting there not saying much. You know, because I get engrossed into the game, and it's like, that's what you want. But some of these games, it's like, it depends on the games. That's why a lot of people don't do, like, a lot of Let's Plays on different genres, because you need something that's still there, it's still instant, it's almost like Fast and Twitch. That's why you see a lot of FPS commentaries.
Yeah, you stay in your comfort zone.
Right. Right. But we don't have no comfort zone. We're all over the place.
Oh, yeah, we go all over the place. We know a lot about embarrassing ourselves. Hell, I mean, we thought this would work. Who are we on YouTube?
Well, you're looking at two guys who actually did a full commentary on The Little Mermaid for the NES. So.
We don't know the meaning of the word quit. We have 1,500 subscribers and we're happy.
You know what? You need to do the old gauntlet where it just wouldn't end. And just carry on that. And just be like, yeah, we're just going to play gauntlet and you're going to watch it.
We're going to play gauntlet and we're going to have a grand old time.
We should do some old Atari games. Maybe like Asteroid or...
Oh, yeah. You know our fight nights that we do? We're going to do Pong.
The older stuff is easier, I feel, to commentate on because they're so technically flawed at times, those older games.
Yeah.
So you can spot it out and be like, yeah, I'm going to talk about this. You know?
Oh, yeah, we know.
But again, it's great watching your videos. You do a great job, and you have my support.